Hi guys, welcome back to the shed and welcome back to part 4 on the Honda Cub modifications. So initially today was meant to be, let's get this bike converted to a fully manual clutch. However, I've made a bit of a mistake. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to tear into my spare engine and I'm going to show you the mistake I've made with the parts I've purchased. Okay, let's have a look at the mistake I've made. So this is the centrifugal clutch, and how this works is the power is transmitted through the crankshaft into this plate here, which contains the 3 shoes that fling out to the outer bell, which then grips and then drives the secondary clutch. So what we effectively want to do is to lock this up. Now, if I just remove it, you can see this is the bell, these are the shoes. So shoes fling out, grip the bell, turns the rest of the shaft, and that turns the secondary clutch. So the modification should be remove these 3 pins and bolt on a clutch stopper. Now this clutch is not only just a clutch, it's also a oil spinner, cleans the oil out. So if you have a look here, I'm going to get filthy, but as the engine rotates, the oil gets flung out to the side of these shoes, and that then cleans the oil. So if I replace that with a stopper, it will end up roughly around this height once the bottom of the clutch is on. What you can see here is I've still got the holes in the crankshaft for the oil spinner. So basically, as the oil's fed this way down the centre shaft to the crank, without that in there, basically the oil will just come out the sides and the crank won't get no oil and it could blow the engine up. So that's why we can't go ahead with that. Now there are other ways of locking the clutch together. A lot of people will get it back together. They will put some blobs of weld and actually just weld these 2 together and bolt it on. But I didn't really want to do that. The other way is, in the bottom of here there's a one-way clutch. We can take the one-way clutch apart, mess around with the ball bearings and the springs and actually lock it that way. However, I don't really want to go down that route either. So what I've decided is the parts that I've brought, so I've already got a head, as we know don't work because it's too big, and I've already now got a manual clutch conversion, which I could make it work, but I want to do it properly. I want to weld these holes up. As I'm going to build this engine later in the year, I'm going to save all these parts for this engine. This engine is probably going to be 190cc, long stroke, big valve head, and obviously the manual clutch. So what we're going to do with my bike now to stop the clutch from slipping. So I've got a few ideas. Right, this is the plan of attack. So the engine I rebuilt that's in the bike now had around 50,000 miles on it, and one thing I didn't replace was the centrifugal clutch linings. Now they were just about in spec, but they are £150 for a set, so I didn't bother. What I did do in the bike though, I did replace the secondary clutch plates because they're only about £9. So what we're going to do is going to strip the engine in the bike down and compare the linings. Now this engine has only done 18,000 miles, so and these linings do look pretty good. So whichever linings are the best are going to go in the bike, and then I'm going to uprate the secondary clutch with stronger springs. What I'm hoping is that will cure the clutch slip and also leave it as a semi-auto. I do want a manual bike, but I do like the convenience of the semi-auto. So that's what we're going to do. I'll strip the bike down and we'll look at what parts are the best and rebuild the bike with the stronger springs as well. Okay, so here we have the clutches side by side. So I've gone through the Haynes Book of Lies, got all the specifications and been measuring, but it doesn't take a genius to work out that these shoes here, which you can see, are lower or more worn than these ones here. So the service limit for the shoes is 1 mil. These are just about 1 mil, in some cases under 1 mil. Standard is 1.5mm, and these are measuring up about 1.4, so they've had a easier life. We're going to go with those shoes. Now when it comes to the outer drum or the bell, you have a specification for the ID. Now they're both in specification, but what I can't measure and what you won't pick up on film is how deep these grooves are. If I could measure in the grooves, this one would probably be out of spec, whereas this one is actually still smooth. So we're going to use the whole centrifugal clutch out of my spare engine. We're going to stick with the secondary clutch because I know the plates are good, and all I'm going to do is change these springs. Now these heavy duty springs are much bigger than the ones in there. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I thought it was 6, better check. We're going to replace 3 of those with heavy duty. Okay, let's change these clutch springs. Probably going to have to get a bit inventive with the valve spring compressor to hold it all together, because these springs are a lot bigger than the ones that came out, but they are meant for this clutch, so we'll try it, push it down bare hands, or we'll use a G-clamp or a valve spring compressor or something. Yeah, I don't think I need to put all 6 in. 3 should do it. Yeah. Well, they don't look any different, but you can, size-wise, that one's, I can compress my fingers, that one I can't. So I'm only going to put 3 of them in. So 1, 2, 3. And let's see how hard this is going to be to compress. Yeah, that's going to be fun. Pain in the arse, aren't you? Right, I've got the bolts to grip. Confession time, I was an idiot again. So when I was trying to do the bolts up, I was actually putting them in the ones that don't have threads in them. What an idiot. But anyway, I've got them to grip. So let's get these done up. Alright, that's all them done up. Okay, so that's the 3 strongest springs put in. This is the clutch out the other engine, so I'm just going to clean up the oil spinner here before I put it back together, get some gaskets out, and we'll get reassembling on the bike. Okay, now we've got the clutches back in, we've now got to reassemble the mechanism. Now it's best to lean the bike over on its side, otherwise all these little bits fall out. So that goes in the centre of the secondary clutch. The gear shifter arm, there's a mark to line it up, that goes in. Little spring in the middle. And then these 3 balls are what push down and activate the clutch. Okay, let's see if we can get the outer case on without knocking any of those inner bits off. Easier said than done. And that's it. We're now done. Okay, that's all the bike put back together. I fired it up and I rode it up and down the garage. Now, I know it wasn't the video we intended on making, or the outcome, so I haven't got a manual clutch. I'm hoping this will solve the problem. Don't worry though, the engine build series will start probably in the next couple of months, and we'll use those parts to build that engine up. So if you did enjoy it, give us a like, subscribe, leave a comment, all advice is welcome, and I'll see you in the next one.